think we're live. Hold on, folks. It doesn't seem like I'm going live on my end. Can you guys... Oh, there we are. Okay. Hey everyone, it's Alexander the Real Mr. Robinson. That could have started a little better. But anyway, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another Godzilla watch-along. Man, we're almost done. Next week is the final movie. But today we're going to start the second part of the most disappointing series of Godzilla movies to ever exist. This is Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, which I remember after seeing the Planet of the Monsters movie, I was like, you know what? It's not great. It was a poor, disappointing start, but hey, you know what? The second one, they might improve. Hopefully they'll get better. Like, surely it can't get worse after that, right? Because they clearly have a roadmap. Hell. Yeah. Yeah, that's disappointing right there. But anyway, yeah, we're just going to get through this. First of all, I want to welcome everyone who's in the chat at the moment, all the regulars. For those of you who are watching this live but aren't interacting with the chat, I encourage you to do so. If you're watching this in post afterwards, you can find the movie on Netflix, and I encourage you to join live watch-alongs in the future. If you're not a Godzilla fan, well, we only have 2 movies left after this, but I will be doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Star Wars, and Harry Potter series right before as live watch-alongs exclusively for everyone on YouTube. If you really like what I'm doing with the channel, you want to help support financially, you could go to patreon.com/therealmrrobinson. For $1 a month, you get to help support financially, and then when I hit 25 patrons, you can get access to exclusive live watch-alongs. And because I'm doing Godzilla, the MCU, Harry Potter, and Star Wars Skywalker Saga specifically for everyone on YouTube because of the pandemic, but everything else from there on out is exclusively for patrons. So if you want to see any movies, if you want me to do watch-alongs for any movies that I absolutely hate and you want to see me suffer, then patreon.com/therealmrrobinson. But if you can't support the channel financially, that's fine. Watching the videos on YouTube and just subscribing to the channel itself is more than welcome. And yeah, we're just going to get this started. Daquan Tate says, did you hear about Kenosha? No, I haven't. Just going to Google. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did. Some reason I thought that was something else, but yes, I have heard about the shooting. It pisses me off. Like, I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm not one to like hold any like grudges or hate people, but what happened yesterday just really pissed me off. Like, it made me angry and frustrated and heartbroken at just the world, the society that America is in right now. For those of you that don't know this, I'm not going to get too much into this because this is about Godzilla, not real world events. But in Kenosha, Wisconsin, yeah, there a 17-year-old came in there from another state and gunned down 2 people, and he's been charged with murder, but he's also white, and considering how things have been going in this country. I don't expect him to serve out a sentence or anything, but it sucks. It truly sucks, this world. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do these watch-alongs, just to provide some sort of escapism, not only for you guys, but just for myself as well. And that's why I added Star Wars and Harry Potter to the roster, because those are two series that really do provide a sense of escapism and even hope. So, yeah, it sucks. I hate it. I hate this world. I'm fed up with this world. If I'm going to put any type of... if I'm going to try to get any laugh out of you guys, but I don't think it's really appropriate. Yeah, that's not much else to say. But whatever, we're 7 minutes into this stream. We haven't started the movie. Let's just go ahead and get this started. Again, this is on Netflix. I am starting the movie right now. Again, Toho Animation's logo is just so... For lack of a better word, it's so animated compared to Toho's regular logo, which is just very quiet and very... I don't think Toho has an official fanfare. Last time on Godzilla... Then what about that 2%? I like how in these credits, they're all Japanese credits, but and suddenly in English, there's in association with Netflix. Yeah, just wait for one of those guys down there to just fuck it all up for y'all. Is this the titles? Is this the title card coming up? Like I really blocked these movies out of my mind. Oh, it is. So yeah, this movie came out in Japan the same weekend as Deadpool 2. But it didn't come to Netflix until 2 months later, July of 2018. Okay. Am I imagining something, or did that door look like it was made of rubber? Either that's glitter on him or that's the extremis formula in Iron Man. Dude, you could you. It's been proven that you can breathe, so you don't really need that. See, like even though I was very so-so on the last movie, this intro is actually also pretty interesting because, like, it shows a civilization that has survived ancestors of humanity, and they've basically learned to coexist with Godzilla. I mean, I kind of get with this with with this opening and kind of the way this movie looks in terms of its art direction. It kind of reminds me of if you crossed Godzilla with Avatar. Screw Memphis. You don't need that. I mean, even before this series came out, when they released concept art, I think maybe, and even when the first trailer came out, there was kind of an Avatar feel to it, or at least a look. Yeah, y'all want to get the hell out of there. Well, that was disappointing. Close enough. Hey, maybe y'all didn't hear. Maybe you didn't hear me, but the guy who formulated this whole strategy is alive. that line reading was not particularly strong. What is that thing? It pierced the armor. Tevya says, Yoku, I completely forgot about her. Don't worry, the third movie will completely forget about her, so you're not alone. That was just like a Pulp Fiction moment where he's shooting aggressively, misses, and then the native just looks like. Yeah, the animation, like, I said this before, but it works well for TV. But how this got a theatrical release in Japan astounds me because some of the animation is just choppy as hell. No, no, you say no. He's not here, fortunately. Or cocaine. Maybe cocaine got legalized 20,000 years later. And everyone just everyone just bathes in cocaine. They would have. Or maybe they're just going to go full-blown Ewok and eat them. I wonder what this is drawing a parallel to in terms of Godzilla. There's no point in like teasing who the god is, because there's two identical twins that are telepathic who speak in unison. So it's like, we've seen Godzilla before, guys. We know that we know that your god's Mothra. See, I think we got a sense of this science here. I think we got a sense of it in the last movie, so there's really no need to explain this further on. That's right, military guy. Go ahead and deny science. Wait, no, that's not right. He's not wrong. They love calling Godzilla a bastard. Where are the other monsters? That's a funny question that this movie doesn't even answer. And she remembers my name. Someone's jealous. And someone is truly jealous. Yoink! A little late on that. There we go. That worked out. Oh, hello. Ugh. Well, I mean, he did save their asses, so... Okay, the dub does make this easier to follow. Yeah, that's not going to work out well. Yeah. Yeah, if I was told that I came down to rescue people, but actually came down to give like reinforcements, I would have interrupted his speech and said, "You rotten bastard." Yeah, too much science talk here. It's like, let's just get on to. I don't know. Okay, so with the dub, I think I do owe this movie an apology uh, because I thought that Haruo purposely sent that SOS message just to get reinforcements, but it turns out they intended to head back up until he was told that they could win with the nanometal. Oh, the animation is just so uh, jarring. They didn't even bother to animate those faces. Like there's some guys with helmets that didn't even bother to. Well, I trust the one that mispronounces my name. Again, like even though now I have a better understanding of that whole scenario that I criticized and was wrong about. It doesn't help that Haruo's still a boring ass character. I like how Godzilla's first appearance in this series is the United States, or more specifically, Los Angeles. Man, I can't... So many people must have been excited at that point to finally see Mechagodzilla. And then they get something that's not it. See, this alien race I like. Like the other alien race is just badass in my opinion. The alien race that created Mechagodzilla in this series. That ain't a city, that's a power plant, huh? It's all nanometal. But how could it? And then every Godzilla fan was like, and then, oh. And now, for me, when this scene happened, what I thought was, okay, that's cool that Mechagodzilla's artificial intelligence was so advanced that it actually started to evolve and turn into a giant city. Okay, that's badass. Now, when are we going to get Mechagodzilla proper? No. Nephthys is just so unfazed. Well, it can't really find Godzilla because it's a fucking city. Yeah, this series is just, it's literally nothing but explaining. So it's just like, let's not talk about Godzilla versus Kong spoilers potentially, because let's just not talk about that, because I never heard it official that Mechagodzilla's in it. And also, I'm not on board with the idea of introducing Mechagodzilla in that movie. So let's not talk Godzilla versus Kong spoilers. Well, a roach head. Hey, how about instead of creating a control center, we built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. But if they could build like a command center just by activating it, why can't they just build a body for Mechagodzilla? We've already done enough explaining in this movie. We don't need you talking. I feel like if you having Mechagodzilla City actually transform into Mechagodzilla as we know him, that would be a ripoff of Metroplex from Transformers. So I think they wanted to try to avoid that. Again, you're building these defenses. Why couldn't you just build a body for the head? Like, this is what irritates me so much. Like, you see on the little poster that I have at the corner there, on the right-hand side, you see Mechagodzilla looming over the background. And this movie does not give you that at all. Like, we can build control centers, we can build monitors, we can build guns and turrets on the city. We can build enhancements to the mech, but we can't build a body for Mechagodzilla. Thank you for that observation. Man, all that nanometal could have been used to build a body. Ain't that a shame? Man, if only that egg would hatch. And the vulture just beheaded one of them by flying too close. I can answer that question for you. No, it's not a good idea. You think it's a grudge? Man, he's not even paying. He's not even looking at her. He's like stoned and dazed off somewhere else. Really? Because we never knew that. Giza 100 says he's baked. Oh, those poor bastards. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was bored out of my mind. If you did, then you're late and you missed it. Yeah, he'd know something about sinister things. Right, so yeah, like again with Planet Eater, I take it back when I say that this religious aspect comes out of nowhere, because they talk about it several times, uh, but that's the thing, they only talk about it. It doesn't really carry weight. No, no, I'm good. I'm good. Hail Hydra. Say what in the presence of a don't say what in the presence of others. Ghidorah? God damn it! I just told you, do not say that in the presence of others. What, Ghidorah? Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, I'm surprised the fandom didn't make jokes about that moment where where Enthys, whatever his name is, leans into Haruro, and instead of saying Ghidorah, he says Hail Hydra. Okay, either that's a shadow on Yuki's stomach, or she's okay. That's a shadow. I was about to say like, her stomach is incredibly sweaty. Okay, raise your hands, folks. Did you believe that chemistry? Do you believe that these two they hinted at any type of romantic chemistry at all? I know I can't see your hands, but I'm going to assume none of you raised them. Like Yuki is horny. That was awesome. Yeah, I don't understand that part. No, she won't. Let's see. We are an hour and two. Oh, I accidentally rewinded. I accidentally scrolled back a bit. Well, it's by a few seconds, so whatever. Yeah, an hour and 2 minutes into the movie, and Godzilla's already doing something. And, okay, quit calling Godzilla a bastard. Well, yeah, Godzilla finally shows up an hour into this movie. And, like, unlike Final Wars, where that's a 2-hour movie, so you get the last hour of Godzilla. So the last hour has a bunch of Godzilla action. And instead of the 2014 movie, which also... Godzilla shows up quicker than an hour in that movie, but... This is an hour and a half. And it's like the last... We're at the last 40... It's an hour and 44 minutes, and we got the last, like, 38 minutes left of Godzilla fighting. Whatever. We already went through this strategy. We don't need to see it again. And look, we have our own right to do what we want. You humans don't get to do this. You can do whatever you want, you stupid bastard. So quit enough with the talking, for God's sakes. Like, it's nothing. It's like Inception, where it's literally nothing but exposition. And I love Inception. Yeah, Shin Godzilla had a lot of dialogue sequences as well, but the thing is, um, Shin Godzilla was a political satire and paralleled real-world events while updating Godzilla to fit where Japan was at the time. This is probably the most science fiction-y Godzilla movie made. Yeah, this is the most science fiction-y Godzilla movie ever made. And most of the time is spent just explaining everything. And it's boring. Like, the dialogue sequences in Shin Godzilla are fascinating because, again, they parallel what Japan was going through at the time and their politics. No, parody and satire are two completely different phrases. Like, satire satire is more of a political, like, satire is not, like, directly linked to parody. Like, like what satire is the use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. And parody is defined as an imitation of the style of a particular writer, artist, or genre with deliberate exaggeration for comedic effect. So, yeah, there's a clear difference between parody and satire. Yeah, movies like... Yeah, it's like RoboCop and a lot of Paul Verhoeven's movies are satire. Okay, that was badass. I'm not gonna lie. That was cool. But yeah, also Philip K. Dick was known as a satirist with a lot of his works. Yeah, it's like for as boring and as boring as this series can be, and as much as they really had wasted potential, Godzilla's badass in this movie. Like, they really made a intimidating and very tyrannical version of Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla just gave you the Superman side eye. And, yeah, just be careful. The sound design in this series is actually pretty good. You know, it's weird that those tiny vultures would like their firepower creates such massive explosions around Godzilla. Like that's kind of silly, but whatever. Man, you know this movie could have been a lot cooler if it was Mechagodzilla luring him to this trap and like Mechagodzilla fought Godzilla right down here. And like the city you'd still have the city, but I don't know. You okay? Man, like Mechagodzilla City, and those like and that little trench that they built, it really does paint a clear perspective on. Despite the fact that this is the biggest Godzilla ever, he's tiny compared to the city and the traps. Isn't this kind of the same strategy as Shin Godzilla, where they plan to freeze Godzilla? We're just gonna yell. Yeah, of course that. Yeah, y'all didn't kill Godzilla. You just made him. You just set him up to go Super Saiyan. Yeah, why do I get the feeling that this entire trilogy is just a big PSA on, yeah, every religion has nut jobs in it. Why do I get that feeling? Yeah, I'm starting to take back on how these aliens were cool. This is let's just can we just end this already? It's like just hurry the fuck up with this ending. They did Yuko wrong in this movie. Or no, this whole series, especially the next one. Like she's like there's no character in this movie at all, and especially with her, she's an object in like the next movie. A close up. This dub, you for all three movies, really loves using the word bastard over and over. It's like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, y'all spent so much time talking nonsense. Like, you've given him enough time to recharge. This is so bad right now. Ha! That didn't work out too well. It's almost comedic how he dies. I'd say most Godzilla movies know when to end. Uh, this movie and Roland Emmerich's Godzilla are two movies that do not know how to end properly. And yeah, for those of you who'd hope to see Mechagodzilla, whether in this movie or the sequel, yeah, tough shit, because Godzilla just destroyed the entire city. Yep, no Mechagodzilla at all, Justin Toner. And like I said when I first reviewed this movie, when a non-Godzilla movie made in America does a better job of Mechagodzilla than the actual Japanese company that created the character, that is some shit right there. Of course, there's that yell, that cliched yell. Yeah. At this point, like, once I finished this movie, I was like, okay, now Like the third film's got to do something spectacular to save this trilogy, because we got one disappointing beginning and a middle portion that starts off cool and then just gets really bad by the end. Because like I'm gonna take the headphones off because there's is just a song until we get to the mid-credit scene, or I'm sorry, end credit scene, which really we have no reason to watch because they just replay the same scene from earlier where Memphis tells Haruo about their god, except it's done in a way where he says Ghidorah, so we see that angle. But like at the point with the anime trilogy, it kind of reminds me of the first two installments of the DCEU, where the first movie is like, okay, it's disappointing, it's not really the best start, but it has some cool moments and a good idea. Maybe they'll get it right in the second one. Like, I'm willing to give this series a chance if they improve with the second one. And then the second one comes out, and I'm like, okay, there's like no denying that this is going nowhere. And like that the next one's got to do something impressive to make us forgive for the first two angles and the first two movies, and it doesn't look like that's happening. Like, the biggest problem with the anime trilogy is that this is like with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where they're being made at the same time, so there's no way to actually like learn from the mistakes of the previous film and go, okay, this didn't quite work, so we're going to try a different angle. And especially since this is anime, like they don't have time. Typhon said, where is it? Now we have the Snyder cut. You really think that's gonna get better? Yeah, there was Wonder Woman, but I'm talking about in terms of the DCEU. I'm more specifically Zack Snyder's movies. And if anyone out there really thinks that Snyder's Justice League is going to be good at all, then I've got a big, glorious piece of real estate to sell you, because it ain't gonna be good. I mean, I could end up eating my own words, but given how he filmed Justice League right after Batman vs. Superman came out, or right before Batman vs. Superman was about to come out, I don't think he has any time to learn from the mistakes of that movie, and I don't think he even cares. Like, I think he's just, okay, hold on, the mid-credit scene's coming up. It's like, he doesn't have time to learn from his mistakes, and quite frankly, I don't think he cares. Okay, we saw this shit already. Yeah, Empties is just like a straight up cult leader. Like, he might as well head the Church of Scientology. And much like with Scientology, nobody takes it seriously. Yeah, it doesn't sound as cool. Hearing that name drop Ghidorah just doesn't sound as cool in English as it does Japanese. Like imagine if in Godzilla 2014 you had somebody else name drop Godzilla when they first say his name. We call him Godzilla. Yeah, it just sounds better with Ken Watanabe saying, we call him Godzilla. So yeah, that was Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. Little better than I remember it. But yeah, it's just not very good. It's not good at all. Razorbike says, what were the first 3 films in DCEU? Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman. And then there's Suicide Squad, which really had no purpose to be in that lineup originally, since it didn't really lead to anything. Like, it's the equivalent of Marvel doing Iron Man first. No, it's the equivalent of Iron Man. It's the equivalent of Marvel. Yeah, I guess you could say either Iron Man or Captain America first, then doing Civil War, and then doing Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's like, wait, why? Why that so soon? But yeah, anyway, back to Godzilla. We're at ground zero. We're at the last week next week. As somebody said, let me see if I can find it. Double Godzilla versus King Ghidorah action. Well, for one of the movies. Yeah, next week, the next one up is going to be Godzilla the Planet Eater, and then next week will be Godzilla King of the Monsters from Michael Dougherty, finishing off the entire week-long... God, I'm going to look up when I started doing the watch-alongs, because I think it was the first week... It had to be the first week of May that I did this, and now it's going to be the first... Like, next week is going to be the first week of September. Because that's nuts that I've been able to do 2 movies from the series consistently. Well, with the exception of the first Godzilla, since I only ended up doing 1 movie that week. I did the original Godzilla as a watch-along May 5th. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's been nuts. I started May 5th. And, yeah, someone says Godzilla King of the Monsters is 10 times better than this. And that's the thing with, like, I wish... There was a part of me that wished the anime trilogy was more popular, because with all the negative criticisms towards Godzilla King of the Monsters, I look at it and go, look, you guys aren't wrong with your criticisms, but you go after King of the Monsters and ignore the Planet Eater? Like, if you want to kick a Godzilla movie in the balls, let's talk about Godzilla the Planet Eater, which we'll get to Tuesday. Last thing, speaking of Suicide Squad, are you excited for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad? Honestly, I am. Like, I'm actually legitimately excited for that movie. And especially after the wake of Birds of Prey, which was everything that Suicide Squad should have been. So I think Birds of Prey was the perfect appetizer for The Suicide Squad. Anyway, yeah, next week, Godzilla the Planet Eater. Tune in tomorrow, no live stream of any kind, but I will be posting my review for Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and I will be having reviews up for Bill and Ted Face the Music and New Mutants, because that movie's finally come out. like long after years and delays, New Mutants has finally come out, and there's a drive-in that I can see it at because LA theaters are not open, and there's still no vaccine, so I'm not going to a theater anytime soon. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, especially those who are watching us live. If you're watching these in post, I encourage you to join one of these live streams whenever you can. Maybe you'll join in for Godzilla King of the Monsters, since it is another American Godzilla movie, and probably more accessible than the anime trilogy. Well, actually, there's no probably. It is more accessible than the anime trilogy. But if you can't join in this last week of Godzilla watch-alongs, then... what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, then later on, I will be doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No start date for that yet. It might be a few weeks after this, or it might be a little longer. It depends on what's going on in my personal life, because there's things happening that I can't talk about that might affect when I actually start doing the MCU. But anyway, I hope you guys tune in for that when it happens. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, you want to help support financially, you can go to patreon.com/therealmrrobinson. Links in the chat. For $1 a month, you get to support the channel financially. And when I hit 25 patrons, I will start doing exclusive watch-alongs just for you guys. There's a lot of rewards there, tiers. There's some goals I have to meet. There's some goals I'd like to meet if I get enough patrons. But if you can't support the channel financially, no sweat about it at all. Just watching the videos, tuning in live to these free watch-alongs, and just subscribing to the channel is all I'll accept. That's good enough. And until then, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.